People of power, welcome to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry, where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. If by chance you're tuning in for the first time, guys, let me inform you that this is not a traditional type of ministry, nor am I a traditional type of minister. For more information about what I mean by that, please stay tuned to the end of the video. And without further ado, we're going to get right off into today's topic, man. I appreciate and value each and every single one of you guys. You guys whose hearts are in the right place. You're fighting this war. You're fighting this battle. You're refusing to surrender your soul. You are refusing to surrender your God-given authenticity, and it's cost you a lot. You're literally fighting fires on several different fronts in your life. Most of you guys are. I want you guys to remember that fighting, going into battle, it's a part of your God-given destiny. These things are being brought upon you as a result of your God-given destiny. No one can not legitimately profess to be a warrior if they haven't fought in a war. They may be trained up to be a warrior, but they don't get to totally 100% legitimately become a warrior until they have actively participated in battle. This battle, guys, it's not just a defensive battle. In fact, we are to take offensive moves. We're to make offensive moves, to make counter moves, counterattacks, to launch our own offensive strikes on the enemy in this spiritual warfare that we face. It's not just defensive maneuvers. It's not just, evade and escape. It's not just conflict avoidance. Sometimes it's not conflict resolution. Sometimes it's just conflict. He didn't give us the helmet, the belt, the shoes, the sword, the shield, the breastplate of righteousness. He didn't have us put on battle armor to stand in the corner and watch life just go by. He didn't give us battle armor for us to go out to the beach, to go to a barbecue, to go to a picnic, dance club, or not even church. You put on battle armor to go into battle. And again, we should be advancing the kingdom, not just on defense all the time. This is a spiritual war, and we have to be offensive. We have to be offensive minded. So today's message is about you showing all of the weaponry that's in your toolbox, that's in your armor, all of it. This is everything from your wisdom to your God-given authenticity, to your prayer life, to your what we would call charm, charisma, to your talents, your humbleness, your compassion. You have to use all of the weapons that have been given you. And unfortunately, some of my spiritual brothers and sisters out there aren't doing this. And let me be clear. I fully understand that those of us who are truly amongst the 144,000, we are the tip of the spear. We are the tip of the spear. We're called to be on the front line of this battle. And yet, those of you who may not be called to be on the front line, you're still called to battle. all of his children must put on the armor of this thing that we call God. And we live in a day and age where, and I get it, most of the people that I counsel, including myself, have gone through this phase where at some point during the initial stages of our awakening, we kind of became, dare I say, docile, passive, submissive. Not out of fear, but just out of this notion that me being, a Christian, a Muslim, a Hinduist, a Baptist, whatever, me being committed to this thing that we call God, that means I just want to be cheery all the time. I just want to be compassionate and humble and caring and loving all the time, tolerant all the time. So it was never out of fear, but just out of a sense of, maybe it was just new to us, or maybe there was some misguided notions, some things that we had to figure out along the way of our individual and collective journey. So we've all gone through that phase, but we have to come out on the other side and realize that we have to show all of us. And when I say all of us, I mean all of you. And I have to show all of me. It's not just about being so compassionate and so loving and so kind and so generous that you get taken advantage of, that you get spat upon, metaphorically, that you just allow yourself to become someone's mental, psychological, social, emotional, spiritual punching bag. That's not what we're here for, guys. And again, the 144,000, we're to be on the tip of the spear. Not everybody is assigned to the front line. We get that. But we're all called to fight. The point that I'm making is that some of you guys may not be so inclined to engage in the spiritual battle. Some of you guys may be reluctant. Some of you guys, it may not necessarily even be what we will call your post in the kingdom. We're all called to battle, but just like when you go into the army, and if we were to use the army or military analysis or analogy, when they ship 10,000, 100,000 troops overseas or deploy them wherever they go, not each and every one of them is going to actually engage in battle. We already know that. Some of them are going to provide technical support. Some of them are going to, provide reconnaissance. Some of them just going to prepare, supplies, whatever. But they all are prepared for the just in case. They've gone through, the academy, boot camp. They've gone through it. And so they're prepared for battle if something was to happen and they needed to fight. But they're not dispatched to the front lines, and sometimes not even to the rear. They're just auxiliary support. So we get that. So to my spiritual family members who, again, you may be reluctant. You may feel like, hey, man, that's just not what he has on your radar, but you're prepared to battle if and when it comes. Hey, listen, whatever position he has assigned for you, that's between you and him. And only he can tell you what your specific assignment, your specific post is in the kingdom. Now, he can use this ministry, other ministries, your own research, prayer, whatever. He can use different means to make that clear to you. But the point that I'm trying to bring home is that for you guys, if this, being on the front line or being, second call responders, whatever the case may be, If none of that works for you, then that's between you and him. He's got a place for you. And I celebrate and salute whatever place it is that he has for you. Because whatever position it is that he has for you, it's just as important as the guys on the front line. The guys on the front line don't get resupplied. They don't get food. They don't get accurate reconnaissance so they'll know when to attack, when not to attack, whatever. So whatever it is that he has for you, then do it, because it's all needed in the kingdom. And for those of you guys who know that you're either a member of the 144,000, you're front line, that's what you're here for. And so you guys that may be, second responders, third responders, QRF, quick reaction force for the kingdom. And remember, I'm talking spiritual warfare. This is where we're centered. I'm not promoting physical violence. I'm promoting spiritual warfare. In terms of, these reference points that I'm putting out. I don't need nobody to watch this video and try to go tell somebody that I'm provoking some type of physical revolt, because I'm not. So, as I was saying, for those of you guys who are, that you're meant to be on the front line, then get there. Get there and stand there. And realize, metaphorically speaking, realize that warriors go to war. And in war, some warriors die. They don't all come home. We're talking spirituality. Remember, at the risk of redundancy, that's what we're talking. So this don't come home, maybe you lose that business. Maybe you lose that relationship. Maybe your reputation gets shot through the grease. Maybe they boycott your business. Maybe they label you. Maybe everybody misunderstands you. And yet your assignment remains. Those second and third responders, they need for you to go in. They need for us, as members of the 144,000, to go in and do our job. If the tip of the spear doesn't penetrate the target, then what chance does the rest of the spear, the head, the shaft, what chance does that have of penetrating the target if the tip broke off right off the bat? So we have to do our job, guys. And the job that I'm talking about is showing all of you and letting go of this notion that, if you check somebody, if you get into an argument with somebody, if there's some type of confrontation with somebody, that somehow you are outside of that which you were called to be. The devil is a lie. Get outside of this mindset that you should just stand around in society, in the neighborhood, in the workplace, wherever you are, and just let these clowns attack you spiritually. And you feel it. You feel these people projecting their negativity and their insecurities onto you and into your auric field. And you just sit there. Well, I'm called to be, meek. The meek shall inherit the earth. And, we got to be compassionate. We got to be caring and loving. And we got to be, tolerant. Yes, those things are true. But not at the expense of you being a spiritual chump or a spiritual pushover, excuse me. I don't play those silly little games. I know who I am in the kingdom. And if you come around me with that goofy, weird energy, you're going to feel this God, holy energy. You're going to feel it, period. All these negative vibes that you want me, people like me, and the overwhelming majority of people on this planet, you want us to just turn a blind eye to? Like we should just pretend that our discernment, our intuition isn't real. We should just ignore it. No, the devil is a lie. You come around me with that goofy energy, I'm going to let you know that you ain't projecting none of that over here. And some of you guys out there are called and anointed to do the same thing. You just gotta accept it. You just gotta embrace it. Stop being so spiritually, psychologically, and emotionally passive and timid. When you go into different places and you feel these people because of, their hard stares, their negative vibes, the rude comments, all the little goofy things that they do. And when you walked in there, you was walking on 10. But because you took this, hey, well, I'm a Christian or Muslim, whatever it is, I'm a man or a woman of God, and I'm just going to rise above it and ignore it. But every time it's taking a little bit of something out of you, a little bit of joy, a little bit of zest, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of enthusiasm for life. No, it's time for you to rise up and stand up in your God-given assignment as a warrior. I don't play those silly little games. And I'm not out, glutton for pain. But they will not project any of that negativity on me. I control the environment. My Father, a better way, a more precise and accurate way of putting it, my Father controls the environment wherever I go, and he uses me as his vessel. He uses you as his vessel. This is what it means when the good book says we are his battle axe. And with him, he will ruin, and through us, we will ruin kingdoms and destroy empires because of that Holy Spirit that's in us. It's not have to be a physical thing. It's a psychological, a mental, a spiritual war, an emotional war. And you've been given authority over that whole environment, wherever you are. But you got to fight for it. Just like the children of Israel were promised a promised land, but when they got there was giants. It wasn't even just an army of giants. They had to fight for it. They had to go into battle. So some of you guys put on that armor and take up your position as a frontline warrior, particularly if you know, and again, that's between you and him. I can't tell you unless, it would take an act of his for him to have me, for him to download that information to me and, confirm it with you or whatever. That would be him, pardon me. But if you're a member of the 144,000, you know if you are or not. And I know there's millions of people out there, millions, probably even billions, all saying they're a member of the 144,000. Well, excuse me, that's a literal number. So how can there be millions? It's only 144,000 of us on the entire planet. My point being, if you are a member of the 144,000, you know if you are. And can't nobody tell you that you're not. Not me, not your spouse, not your imam, not your pastor, not your preacher, not your spiritual guru, not some well-educated theologian, some mystical shaman. No one. That's between you and this thing that we call God. But if you know that you are a member of the 144,000, then put on that battle armor and go to war in those spiritual environments, in those spiritual atmospheres. And let the chips fall where the chips fall. Trusting that he will see you through and see you to wherever it is that he has predestined for you to end up. Again, I don't play them games. I don't play them games. And it's not just sometimes even about me. Like I see, the people that, if they're just negative people, if they're narcissists, if they're performing some kind of so-called dark magic, whatever the case may be, and I can sense, I can peep, the telltale signs, if you will. You can decode, their energy frequency and just know that they're releasing toxicity in that entire environment, and you can see how people are being not just negatively impacted, but dissuaded and consumed by it. So people start partaking in it, not knowing that it's been a form of trickery all along. So it's not just about me sometimes. It's about like, I see those clowns manipulating that whole atmosphere. And it's something that I just don't play. No, I'm gonna release this love. I'm gonna release this wisdom. I'm gonna release this confidence. I'm gonna release this faith into the atmosphere. This joy, this enthusiasm, this boldness. I'm gonna release it in the air. That's what I do. I go to battle. I mount up. I man my spiritual position, and I go to war. That's what some of you guys are supposed to do. Stop sitting around in that office space and just feeling a little bit more and a little bit more drained, and you look over there and you see somebody who was feeling good 1 minute ago, and you can see the goofy over there at the water fountain, mean mugging them, or walk by with some condescending statements that's making people feel bad. That person may not be assigned to the front line, but you are. Take control. Step up in your God-given authority and claim that atmosphere. And you ain't got to be mean mugging nobody back. You ain't got to return sarcasm. You ain't got to return negative energy. No. Put all the energies that you know he has placed within you. Release that into the atmosphere. Again, your confidence, your personality, your joy, your faith, your wisdom, your courage, your knowledge, your compassion. Release that into the atmosphere. You ain't got to be, mean mugging and getting into some confrontation. When you can feel that negative energy that they're releasing into the atmosphere, trust me, they could feel that positive, healthy energy that God releases into the atmosphere through you. They could feel it. This is what it is. It's a battle of these two frequencies. Even though we know it's a fixed battle, we know we win, we just got to walk it out. But that's the key. We have to walk it out. We can't sit there and become docile, passive, and submissive, and turn a blind eye, and just always be humble, and this and that and that and this. So I know that some of you guys are assigned to do more. And I know that some of you guys are going to be doing more. I'll prophesy that over your life. Just stop letting these clowns make you feel bad. You ain't did nothing to them. You don't deserve for them to just come around and plop down at your desk next to you, or creep up behind you while you're in line at the grocery store and try to download all that BS into your spirit, your aura. Stand up and fight. Rise up and fight. Because again, I prophesied it over your life. If that's what's meant for you to do, and you should, as a member of the 144,000, a quick response force, or second, third responders, whatever it is. If it's meant for you, then this is going to ignite that in you. This is going to activate that within you. This message is going to do that, because this is his words. This is coming through this mouth, coming through this vessel. Take the boldness. Let that boldness be activated in you. Faith and fear can't coexist. And I'm not making light of any of it. Like I said, I know who I am in the kingdom. And so when you come around me with that goofy energy, once I've decoded that energy, it's toxic, it's intentionally polluted and hostile, it's disingenuous, it's conniving, it's deceptive. Once I read that energy, okay, I don't have nothing else for you. But I'll go to war in the spirit realm. But you can't do that. Try to project all that negative. And this is what I get, and this is where a lot of you guys may experience as well. Somebody that comes around you, wherever you are, workplace, out of society, whatever, and they come with all this weird, toxic, aggressive, manipulative, and deceptive energy. And then when they realize that they can't get a breakthrough, they can't bring you down, they can't penetrate your spirit, then they got smiles. Then they got pleasant conversations and handshakes and thirsty for eye contact and all this. No. That's not what this is. This ain't that. This ain't that, and that ain't what this is. I believe it was Maya Angelou, I'm not sure, but some wise person once said, once somebody show you who they are, take their word for it. So you may experience these people that didn't do nothing but spend 30 days, 60 days, 5 minutes, whatever it was in terms of how long you were around that person. They just came aggressive and toxic and, mean-spirited, and you felt all these energies. And then when you maintain your composure, whether it was just staying above it, ignoring it, because we got to do those things as well. But whatever it was that caused them to realize, okay, you're different. They can't penetrate your energy. They can't bring you down. They can't make you feel bad. They can't make you feel guilty about feeling good, about being a good person. And once they realize they can't do these things, then they flip the script and they go from being aggressive to being deceptive with their little smiles and fake conversations and all this. No, I don't do that. And I have no problem telling people in a very respectful way, don't mean to be rude, but kind of really doesn't feel like, the energy matches right here. Man, I ain't trying to be rude, but I do need to be honest. But so just can't engage with you, man. Whatever it takes, man. Don't take it personal, man. Or, man, I want you to have a great day, but I can't engage with you. Oh, why not, man? That's a personal thing, man. But like I said, man, definitely make sure you have a good day and take care. Whatever. I ain't mean, and you ain't getting no reaction out of me and this and that. No, it's just smooth, calm, and collective because I know who I am. And some of you guys, you're waking up to who you are, or you've awakened to who you are. And this is sounding the alarm in terms of, hey, man, we're not here to, like I said, sometimes we got to rise above it, sidestep it, ignore it, and all of these things. Those are different aspects, or those are different parts of the tool that we have, the tools that we have in our toolbox. But that's not it. When you go, if you're a carpenter, and you go to do a job, you take everything. You take the rulers, you take the measurer, you may take the calipers, you may take, the tape, but you also take that hammer. And whatever is required on that job, that's why he's given you all of these tools. So stop standing back and allowing yourself and then the environment as well. Because here's the thing, as I prepare to exit this message. Here's the thing. If you are assigned to engage in this battle, to confront the enemy, frontline member of the 144,000, QRF, second, third responders, whatever. If you are engaged to actually, if you are anointed to actually participate in this battle, when you walk in, you may be the only hope in there. So it's not even just about you. It's about the people that are walking in the light. But again, maybe they aren't mature enough yet. Maybe they're assignment is to provide you with auxiliary support, information, whatever the case may be. They're not assigned to go in and set up camp and engage the enemy. So it may be some of our spiritual brothers and sisters that's back there, that's out there in that environment, being taken advantage of, being, attacked. And there may just be some people who just aren't with the dark side. They're just trying to get on with their life. They don't really, they're being victimized as well, but they're not really about the dark side. They're not really about the light, which obviously means they can be manipulated and used by the dark side. But you get the point that I make. There may be some neutrals in there. And so you may be the only person that's sent there, that's assigned to be there for the purpose of that whole atmosphere. And so you can't abort your mission, your assignment, and go in there with this turn the blind eye. Oh, the meek will inherit the earth, and I'm gonna always be humble. Yeah, you always start with those things. But you also start with that whole toolkit, that whole toolbox. When the plumber shows up, he sits the toolbox down, and he's probably going to reach for a wrench, tape measure. But once he get in there and he look up under that cabinet and sees those pipes, he may know automatically, okay, I need a hammer for this. So this is what I got for you guys, man. Show the whole you, all of your armory, all of your weaponry. You have it for a reason. And like I said, some people, some environments may be totally dependent on you. You got people in there that are meant to provide you with supplies. Again, to use that military analogy again, they may be there to just, bring bandages, to the front line, to send food up to the front line, dry clothing, more weaponry. They may be there to just do the reconnaissance, to go out and scope the enemy and tell you, no, you need to pause, you need to pull back, you need to advance, you need to go around here, attack at that angle. They may have roles that they can't fulfill unless you fulfill yours. How are they going to bring supplies to the front line and you ain't even up there fighting? They can't do their job. It ain't no front line because you're not fighting. So show all of you, man, all of you. Your laughter, your quirks, your confidence, your wisdom, knowledge, understanding, love, your peace, your power, your clarity, your God-given authenticity. Be like that plumber. Be like that carpenter who says, okay, what's required in this job? Because as a carpenter, it's my job to fix. They didn't have an issue where they needed plumbing or carpentry work, and then, they called the computer guy. They call the guy on the sports team or girl on the sports team. No, they called a carpenter. That carpenter being the warrior, you. So it's all up to you. This is what I got for you guys. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, man. I trust that this message actually resonated with you guys who are out there, and you know that you've cleared certain hurdles on your journey. And you realize now that, just being humble ain't going to get her done. You can be humble while you're standing up for yourself. You can stand up for yourself humbly and simultaneously, assertively, confidently, aggressively. You can stand up for that environment. Most people are being overcome. They just don't have any hope. They don't see no chance. All they see is the narcissist coming in, dominating the atmosphere. So they either play along or get over in the corner somewhere and get out of the way. A lot of times it really is just up to you and the people that he has appointed to assist you in whatever way that they can assist you. And for those of you who are not on the front line, hey, do your job. Do your job. When you see somebody that's coming in, walking around with this rare energy, and you see everybody laughing at them, taking shots at them, ridiculing them, bad-mouthing them, and the Holy Spirit reveals to you, hold on a second. They talked about Jesus Christ. They talked about all these great men. And yet the truth of the matter, for those who had the eyes to see, they realize this person wasn't any of those things. When that Holy Spirit descends upon you and you realize that guy, that girl, they're not bothering anybody. They're not the boogeyman that people have started the rumor about them being. They're not arrogant. They're literally just walking to the beat of their own drum / his drum. When you realize that, and you know that you're not a member of the 144,000 quick reaction force, second responder, third responders, but you do have a position in the kingdom, then pray for him that he will instruct you on how you can assist that person. Maybe it's just with a smile. Maybe it's just have a great day. Maybe it's a word of encouragement. Maybe there's other ways that he would have you assist that person. Because the battle has to be fought, guys. And the kingdom is it could be the good book. The good book says we take it to kingdom. We suffer it, and we suffer it by force. So that's what I got for you guys, man. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks again for all the love. Thanks again for all the support. Let's talk about the ministry real quick. For those of you guys who are familiar with the closing, definitely before you get out of here, please make sure that if you haven't done it just yet, you reach over there and hit the buttons. It starts with the share button, guys. Each one reach one, each one teach one. And if you got any value out of today's message, then that means that others can get and are meant to get value out of today's message. That's a literal thing, guys. It literally only takes a second. It would mean a great deal to this ministry, but it could possibly mean even more to the person that receives this message right at the time that you share it. So start with the share button, if you would, please. Hit the bell icon for notifications. Subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and be sure to hit the thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment as well. Sometimes it takes a little while to get back to the comments, but I do. Send an email if you'd like some follow-up questions, research material, study, prayer, all that good stuff. I'll leave an email link down in the description box. If you'd like to make a financial donation, I'm going to leave a Cash App link down in the description box. Whatever amount you send, $1, $100, anywhere in between, or anywhere less, 35 cents. You're still showing the universe that you are in alignment with this message, and you believe that this message has value and that you're in alignment with it. It's a prophetic message that you send out to the universe. When you do anything to help this ministry, financial donation, hitting a like, subscribing, investigating some of the services that I'll mention here in a minute, do all those things, guys. If you have any questions, I'll leave an email link for you guys to reach out, and be sure that you receive your abundant harvest, shaken down and pressed together and running over. This is the harvest that the universe has promised you whenever you plant good seed into good ground. Now, about the services, guys, this is a holistic mind, body, and spirit ministry, promoting mental, physical, and spiritual health and wellness, and providing you with real-world services in each of these separate areas to help you achieve holistic mental, physical, and spiritual health and wellness. If that sounds interesting to you guys, then I invite you to watch a video that's titled MBS Service Tutorial. That's going to talk about all the different services. Please also visit the physical fitness branch of the ministry located at mountfitnessmbs.com. Again, the email link, if you have follow-up questions or if you'd like to utilize some of the service, that'll be down. Email link will be down in the description box. And so I really believe that's everything, but I will ask that you guys do me kind of a personal courtesy, and that is to watch a video that's titled My Testimony and Disclosure. That's going to talk about the actual origins of the ministry, not the services. But that's going to talk about the actual origins of the ministry, and it's also going to provide you with my testimony. And if you're somebody, or if you think you may know somebody, and we know there's people out there that need to be encouraged, and need to be reminded that he's still on the throne. He's not just some ancient thing laying around in books and religion. He's still on the throne right now today. And my testimony and the fact that I'm here bears witness to that. So it meant a great deal to me personally. If you could watch that video. Again, that video is titled My Testimony and Disclosure. Please hit the share button on that and all that good stuff. And that's what I got for you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Reach out if I could be of assistance. And always remember, this is a holistic mind, body, and spirit ministry. And regardless of what's going on, guys, you have been called, you have been anointed to make sure that your mind, your body, and your spirit remains as beautiful, as active, and as strong as possible. This ministry has been anointed to help you achieve such a goal. Reach out if I can be of service to you. I love you all whose hearts are in the right place. And I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and I will holler back. Peace.